Tonight founder, Mariefiebach. She joins us this morning from home. Marie, how are you today?
Shane, I'm doing so great. It's so fun to be back live with all of you today.
We miss you right here. Of course, a great friend of the show and a friend of my family now as well, because you're going to help us turn our garden variety cucumbers into pickles right now.
You know what? That's right. And I'm giving you an easy pickle. Shane, sometimes pickles can be difficult because you've got to sterilize the jars and you've got to can them in a water bath. These are refrigerator pickles and they're ready in 2 days. So these are fast and easy pickles, and it just starts with water. And you want to use filtered water. It's 3/4 of a cup, and you don't want to use tap water because it has chlorine in it and it will make your pickles mushy, and no one likes a mushy pickle. If you don't have a filter at home, just use like a bottle of water, that you get at the store. But 3/4 of a cup of that.
Okay, I'm doing it right along with you, so I got 3/4 of a cup.
Awesome. Got it. Okay, and then 2 tablespoons of white vinegar.
Okay.
And that's going to go into the jar.
We're not only going off of Marie's memory here of how she makes them, but also a recipe that is available online as well, right?
That's right. You can get the recipe at feedyourfamilytonight.com. It's up right now, so if you want all of the details, they're there. The next thing is salt. You have to have salt to make pickles, and this is kosher salt. You want to use kosher salt or something called pickling salt. Table salt and sea salt both have iodine, and that will make your pickles mushy. So 1½ teaspoons of kosher salt or pickling salt.
Okay. And I didn't bring my teaspoon, so I'm going to do a big old pinch.
That'll work. Pickles are forgiving. When I tested them at first, I put in a tablespoon and they were a little bit salty, but I promise you I still ate them.
I'll take that.
Okay,
right.
So you've got that. You're going to add a teaspoon of black peppercorns.
All right, and the peppercorn is not to be mistaken with pepper just from your table, right?
It's the same thing. If it comes in a grinder, you just have them whole, not ground up.
Okay. So how many peppercorns am I looking to do?
Just about a teaspoon.
Okay. And what's that going to do to this? Just add a little bit of spice?
That's going to give it a little bit of spice, and it adds a different kind of heat than the next ingredient, which is hot red pepper flakes. Hot red pepper flakes add a lot of heat. Now, I kind of like my dill spicy. It's something called a spicy dill. So I put a full 1/4 teaspoon. If you're making these for your daughter, I would do just a pinch. Like, you don't want too much because she'll be like, Daddy, these are spicy.
Yep, she always says that. All right, we'll do a little bit of red pepper flakes.
Okay, then put the lid on your jar if you have one. If you don't worry about it. And now we're going to shake it to dissolve the salt.
All right, this is the part where you can let the kids do too.
Absolutely. This would be so fun to do with her. And it only takes a couple of seconds because there's not that much salt in there. Once the salt dissolves, you're going to take the lid back off, and you're going to add a bay leaf and 3 cloves of garlic. Now, my garlic cloves, I haven't peeled them yet, so I'm going to quickly kind of smash them and peel them.
Sure.
You want to put them in whole, because if you chop them up too much, they're going to get really bitter. But if they're a little bit smashed, kind of open a little bit, that's fine. But 3 cloves of garlic.
Okay, and what does the, and I've got a bunch that I'll just cut up here. So yeah. we're cutting, I'm sorry, we're smashing them, or I've got a knife and a clove?
Them. If they're whole, just throw the whole clove in. If they're already peeled, you are good to go. All right. I just haven't peeled mine yet.
Okay, good. And while we do that, I'll ask you about the bay leaf too. What does that do to the whole process?
Well, the bay leaf adds a little bit of flavor. There is some possible science, I haven't researched it too much, that it helps keep them from getting mushy. When I make naturally fermented ones, I actually put cherry leaves in because there's a tannin in the leaf that helps your pickles stay crunchy. And I suspect the bay leaf is the same, but I'm not perfect on that. And then there's dill. And this is fresh dill. You can get it from if you can get it from a garden, you want to get the ones that have a little bit of the fronds, which are kind of the lacy pieces, and a little bit of the heads, which kind of look like flowers. And if you can get a combination of those, you're going to get the best tasting pickle. If you are getting it from the grocery store and can only get the fronds, your pickles are going to be fine. But if you have the opportunity to get the heads, I highly recommend them.
Okay, how many stalks or whatever do I put in there?
you want like a nice solid handful, about a quarter of a cup when you like pinch it tight. So
Okay.
a lot of dill.
All right, we'll get all that in there then.
And then we're just down to the pickles, or they will be pickles, the cucumbers. I like a small cucumber for pickles because the big ones have a lot of seeds in them and they can get kind of mushy. So the smaller the pickle, the smaller the cucumber, the better the pickle. And you can cut them in spears, like lengthwise, or you can cut them in rounds, which I prefer the rounds.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to smash in as many of these cucumbers as you can get to fill up the jar as full as you can get it. And once the jar is filled up, this is kind of a little trick, because sometimes there's cucumbers that are above the brine, which is the liquid. I store it upside down in the refrigerator so that all of the cucumbers are touching the brine. And in 2 days, you put these in your refrigerator for 2 days, and you have perfect pickles, and they'll last in your refrigerator for a couple of months. I have these here that I made last week, and they are just crispy and crunchy, a little bit spicy and salty, and they're perfect.
Well, that's awesome, Marie, but I've got an issue here now, because I chose to go with the spears, okay?
Yes.
But I've only got a cup of water here, so what do I do with the spears that are going to not quite be in the solution?
So that's you can add just a little bit of water all the way up to the top if you want. That's kind of why I do the rounds. But if you do the spears, just make sure the liquid is filled all the way up. And I would still turn it upside down, because that dill will rest on top because you put it on the bottom first.
Yes.
And the reason you don't do it backwards is then you have to pull out all the dill when you're trying to get to a pickle, and that's kind of gross. That's why I just like to turn it upside down.
Okay, you know what? It actually filled up just right. I mean, putting that one in there, it made that solution go right up to the top, so that's a non-issue. This is perfect. So it's going to be 2 days now. 2-day wait?
Put it in your refrigerator for 2 days, and you are going to have pickles. I can't wait to hear what your daughter thinks.
Okay, awesome. And you know, there's different kinds too. So we got bread and butter and all this stuff. Is it a different, obviously a different recipe, but how much of a different recipe for different flavors of pickles?
You know, all pickles are going to have salt and vinegar. And to go with the bread and butter pickles, you're adding sugar because they are a sweet pickle. You can add onions, you can add different types of herbs to give them different flavors. So basically, a pickle is starting with salt and vinegar, and as you move on, then you can add different things. Bread and butter pickles, you're going to add sugar, and they also, you know how bread and butter pickles are a little bit yellow? You add a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric is what makes mustard yellow, and so if you add a little turmeric, you're going to get that bright kind of yellowy color. And that's kind of what makes a bread and butter pickle different.
Sure. Okay, well, that's great. You have severely increased my pickle acumen today, which was severely lacking. Just a few years ago, this is a true story, my dad told me to go to the store and get bread and butter pickles. I went to the store and bought bread, butter, and pickles and brought it back to him. And I thought everything was dill, you know, but apparently not. This is going to be awesome, Marie. Thank you so much. And of course, there's a lot more that we can find at your website and all that you're doing on social media as well. Go ahead and tell us about it.
Sure. Join me in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group, or if you kind of want some behind the scenes of the antics of my family, follow me on Instagram. There's lots of fun there, and all my recipes are always at feedyourfamilytonight.com.
Okay, thank you so much, Marie. Feedyourfamilytonight.com, as she said, and we'll see you back here on Monday on Good Morning Cake Land. Marie, thanks for showing me what the deal is.
Oh, enjoy.